Joe to Joe, do you read me?
Major Tom.
Joe to Major Tom. Alex, mission control, do you read me?
No.
No?
No.
Obviously.
God dang it. I haven't gotten to use the astronaut costume in a while, as you can tell. Guys, we just got back from Astra. I was real excited about this one. I love sci-fi, all kinds of sci-fis. We even saw this Friday, 12:30 p.m., which is abnormal for us. We try to do Thursday late night showings. But after seeing it, I got to say I'm a little disappointed. Maybe it was the marketing for it, where you get a little bit of the rovers and some gun shooting there that made it appear something different. I'm all for cerebral movies that have a lot of subtext to them. But I'll just tell you, man, I was really bored in this one. I felt it was all surface level. If you're going to this for amazing visuals, which there's some good visuals here from time to time, I'd much rather watch Interstellar, Gravity, any number of sci-fi films. I found it methodical, super slow burn, really proud of itself, and I could see what it was going for, but honestly, I felt it was way too long for what it was. And it sucks because I'm the one that came into this the most excited for it.
Yeah,
Guys, go ahead.
You dragged us into this. I was like, no, I don't really want to see it. I'd rather see Rambo. He's like, oh, we'll do both. I was like, damn it. But I actually did like it.
Yeah.
So the visuals were great. I love the visuals and the soundtrack. The music was great. The actor, Brad Pitt, did a phenomenal job in this one. So I really like it. He does great.
No, you do. That was his face the whole fucking film, Joe. The whole film, he's all ponderous.
You have him narrating, so what's going on? I was okay with it, and some of the thing kind of went crazy, which I liked. I don't want to spoil it, but
don't spoil it. This is not the spoiler section.
Yeah,
we'll save that for later.
Mm-hmm. I liked a lot of it. So many
the
of these
flag is on it.
So many of these like modern sci-fi movies are so up their own ass, and they.
That's this film.
That's what I'm. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So they're so up their own. Some of the ones you even mentioned are like very.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of times where they're just like they're sniffing their own farts, going, "How wonderful this all is," and this definitely falls into that trap. But there were some things that I did like about it. I don't think that this movie. You said it was too long. I think this movie is about 8 hours too short, and this would have been better served as like a mini series because there's some things that I wanted them to flesh out. You mentioned the rovers. Had we spent more time in there and kind of fleshed that out,
that would
have been really amazing. And then they get to another point, and it would have been great if they fleshed that out, and it would have been better served if this had been like an HBO miniseries. Well, you don't get Brad Pitt, you don't get to have a major movie release, but there's times where I wanted more, and you're right, you hit it on the head where they just scratched the surface, and I wanted them to kind of dive into a couple of these things. So the story was kind of there, but they didn't do very much with it. So I think the weakness here is some of the writing. There was some tropey shit that didn't make any sense. They committed some science fiction like
full pause
definite stuff where like all you have to do is ask yourself several questions and then go, oh yeah, this movie wouldn't exist if this stupid ass thing doesn't doesn't happen. So
several things we can talk about that, and spoilers don't make sense. To boil it down for you, it's basically a story about a father and his son. It's also the subtext, I think, is hints towards reincorporating yourself into society, just knowing that it's okay to get help. It's okay to, try to connect yourself with other people.
Yeah, rely on others.
Rely on others. There's a message of that. I think might be a little hints of toxic masculinity. I felt a little preached to a little bit with the military type stuff that we're all, soldiers are just robots and they need to be thinking, because they had a lot of this stuff where it's like he takes psychic evaluations constantly and he has to be, basically unfeeling, and so you're effective and stuff. But once he comes off of these pills, And once he starts, experiencing the feelings of being disconnected from his father and longing for a connection with other people, that ties right into the film's theme. Because his father is out here on some deep space expedition in search for extraterrestrial life. And then there's a disaster that happens on Earth that sort of propels his son to go looking for him. And like Alex says, I do like parts of the film. Don't get me wrong. I fucking love sci-fi. So I give sci-fi almost always the benefit of the doubt. But I don't know if it was the time of day and I was ready for it, but I was incredibly bored. And the profound moments where he's like, and you get one scene of him walking to basically a fucking ship that will take him one leg of the journey, then another leg of the journey, then another leg of the journey, and then when you get scenes of him walking to, and then people walking back after they've escorted him to the ship, it's like, what are we doing? What is the point in that?
It's a cool scene.
Stop.
They want to show you, like, look,
we can
do cool stuff with the
with
camera,
the lighting and the cinematography. But that's not really how you earn the other sci-fis have those embedded within important scenes. It reminds me of 1970s cinema where they show the car driving up, and then they show him opening the door and getting out of the car. And then he's walking into the house, and then walking out of the house, and then backing up the car, and then driving off of the car. Well,
what happened.
But modern movie, that's what this film is like. It's one big, huge ride to Neptune. As we listen to some great music, I can admit that, some fantastic soundtracks, and we get some good visuals. But I've seen that before. I've seen that before in Interstellar. I've seen that before in Gravity. I've seen that. Oh, you need to see these. These have messages just like this film, and I think they execute them better, and they tell their story they want better. This one, it's all in the subtext, and it's really the surface level storytelling. It's such a simple story, but I feel it really doesn't have the payoff. Unlike you guys, which you thought it was awesome, right?
No, neither of us said it was awesome.
No, we enjoyed it.
Oh, we enjoyed it.
It wasn't awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. I don't know what your definition of awesome is. Usually,
Rambo,
for me, if
killing
I
shit.
enjoy it, that's awesome. No, I guess you're right. Awesome would be a level above that. Okay. So, what did you think about the, other performances? Obviously, you thought Brad Pitt did really well, and the man is an excellent actor.
He is.
There's
Even
no doubt
when he's
about
just
it.
staring into the camera.
That's what he does the whole film.
And that was good.
Yeah, I'm not knocking on Brad. I'm just it was just boring, honestly. Here's the thing: could Alex, you know a little bit about noir? Could you classify this as space noir? He's essentially, I mean, the military is like the femme fatale coming to him and saying, well, I guess it's not really a femme fatale, but I need you to investigate this thing. He goes on an investigation, right? And it's very slow, very methodical. He's got voiceovers. He's talking about what he's feeling inside and what he's not feeling inside and what he's searching for. And then we get to the payoff, and there's just not any payoff.
The payoff is what actually really killed it for me. Too.
Yeah.
There's a big wait for that. I was
like, I'll admit, towards the middle of the film, right when he gets to a Mars base where they want him to contact his father, and he's contacting his father, he's sending his message, and one time he goes off script, and he kind of just, gives it,
His
what he's
speech.
thinking,
Yeah.
right? That's when the movie's starting to get fascinating. And then, the military gets all, fucking pissed off or something, like he's done something wrong. And it turns in, and I'm like, oh, shit, are we going into thriller terror? Are we going into, oh, my God, there's been a conspiracy, or I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Well, it starts to pick up. I turned to my girl. I was like, okay, here we go. But no.
It didn't go anywhere.
It didn't go anywhere with it.
This is the problem that I had with the storytelling is they keep hinting that they're going to go somewhere cool with it, and they kind of leave clues every now and then. You're like, oh, it's going to get good.
Yeah.
And it never gets good.
I mean, it might be there with the subtext, but it's just hidden and so buried. I don't know. The director, I tried to look it up. The director could have a message, an underlying message, right? I think that mainly has to do with the father and son relationship.
Yeah.
But it could be saying more there. Basically, saying something about toxic masculinity.
I didn't get any of that.
I saw an article written on that, and so maybe that colored my eyes a little bit
I didn't get any
as
of
I
that.
was watching that. And then the very last speech where, so he's like monologuing, I can now see, and I was like, oh man, yeah, he went super woke. He's super woke.
Well, see, I mean, if you look,
and it's technically he's woke at the end.
yeah, but I don't think it has anything to do with toxic masculinity. He was just so emotionally closed off.
Yeah.
His wife left him. All of these other he was like a loner. And
Just
so at the end, he realized.
he just got a mission. That's
Yeah,
all
he goes through the whole story and he develops as a character, and then he realizes
that sounds
that
like some
it's
people's definition of toxic masculinity.
Yeah, I mean, if you,
I'm not pulling over and asking for directions.
Yeah.
I'm going one way. I don't need nobody's help. I don't give a fuck about this or that. And I'm gonna do my mission. I'm just rah.
Yeah.
So I think some of that is in there, and they had some of it at a point, and it was just I don't know.
I mean, if you are looking for that, you're gonna find it in every place that you look for it. I don't think that they put that in there at all because they had so many opportunities, and there were some preachy messages in here that felt weird. There was a lot of religion.
That's why
in this movie that was kind of odd.
I think there's a stealth message of find Jesus. Don't be looking for aliens and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Is you need to look at for Jesus. But I could be wrong on that too. So I mean, I guess sometimes people say the mark of a good film is if there's lots of different interpretations. That one writer saw this as a story of toxic masculinity. Another writer, and you notice, picked up on the religious undertones. Maybe they're saying that we'll talk about it in spoilers, but find Jesus, and then other ones could just be like, no, it's a fucking story of who's the guy went the furthest out. There's a disaster. It's a disaster film, and he's preventing a disaster, right? And if you look at it like that, it's boring. And then another one is it's a war film. There's like different factions. It's in the future, and people fight each other, and there's conflict. Are you combat ready? I'm combat ready. Are you taking your pills? I'm taking my pills. So there's lots of different ways that you can interpret it, and usually that's the mark of a good film, but here I was incredibly bored.
No, I think that if you have different ways that you can go and it's a complete story, it's a mark of a good film. This doesn't have the prerequisite that this wasn't a complete fleshed out story. Nope. They're constantly not showing what happened in pivotal moments of this movie. I don't know if there's another hour that's on the editing room floor, but there's really important events that the whole first half of the movie are based on that we get no resolution for whatsoever. Yeah. And so it's not that, they kind of, it's not Jacob's Ladder where you're like, is he in purgatory? Could all of these things happen? And they kind of fill out a full story and kind of leave you guessing. This is a movie where they just didn't explain anything. And then, of course, in the comments, like, you just don't get it because,
You don't get it, son.
I think. I just wanted to see if I could do it.
No.
I shouldn't have done it.
No.
I think our audience is kind of on board with more the casual moviegoer, ones who would enjoy Rambo over this one. I think. But you enjoyed. Well, we'll talk about that in the final ratings.
Okay.
But I do want to say, I mean, there are moments, there are flashes of brilliance in the film. There's some good music and some good visuals, but ultimately it didn't come together in a satisfying story. I would ever want to watch it again. I would want to watch several other sci-fis over this one. But I do want to mention this one ridiculous moment. At some point, they're flying and there's a distress signal, and they go and check out this distress signal. And this moment of film has nothing to do with the rest of the film. It is fucking ridiculous what happens in that shit.
I like that part.
Joe, I think everything that you like is colored by the fact that you watch the stupidest films on purpose.
It was just like,
I didn't
what the fuck was that?
Exactly. But that's not. What do you mean you like it? So basically, you want every movie to be a parody and to be fucking stupidly ridiculous. Yes.
Hey. If that's
I don't know. If that's your taste,
it could have been
fine.
a really, really cool scene because I kind of like some aspects of it. It wasn't done very well because it's in the movie for 10 minutes, and that is something that I want to see them explore. Explore Research Festival, do some research, some bad stuff happens, and some ridiculous things, and then they learn a lesson, they get off. And
has nothing to do.
That's
with
an episode. That's a 1 hour HBO long episode.
You're right.
But instead we get 5 minutes, and you're just like, this is
that could have been a cool conflict episode, action episode.
We get 5 minutes of dune buggy fights, and it as is sucked because it was only 5 minutes. It didn't make any sense.
I didn't think it sucked, Alex. I thought that was honestly one of the better parts of the film.
Moon Pirates.
Oh,
Amazing.
no.
Moon fucking Pirates. That shit is fucking cool.
It's like someone
But you're
offering
so
you like
right.
a piece of pie, and they're like, you can have this whole
What?
pie, and they give you a bite, and they take it away, and it's like,
Right.
motherfucker, I wanted. You said I could have the whole
That's
pie.
pretty good.
Yeah, no,
Kinda
I got
want
you.
more.
I got you on that,
Yeah.
but that's why I did all proof I didn't like it, but you guys liked it. Can't
Yeah.
wait to see your final ratings.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that scene in the
Yes.
spoilers. Go ahead and let's do final verdicts. Let's make this one quick.
I'm gonna give this one a 6. It loses a lot of points because I don't think the story was very good. I think it had pacing problems. Like I said, I either want this to be almost an hour shorter or 8 to 9 hours longer. I want to see them flesh out all the really cool stuff. I think the acting was okay. I didn't actually like Tommy Lee Jones in this. At all.
Anybody could have played him.
Yeah, there were some major problems that I had with him. We'll talk about it in spoilers. The kind of the way he portrayed the character. He just said things, and then about his physical appearance that didn't happen. The story kind of went nowhere. I think if this had a more satisfying ending, I could see myself giving this like a 7, maybe an 8. If the story kind of meandered but finished strong, but it just didn't finish very strong for me. So it's barely above average.
Okay, 6 out of 10. Joe?
This is a 0 out of 10. This
What?
is just more round world propaganda. All
Oh!
about
Flat Earth.
Kidding. Kidding, guys.
The marble. Look at that
Yes.
big blue marble.
Kidding. No, I'm going to agree. A 6 for me, too.
6 out of 10.
Yes.
Slightly above average.
Yes, it really had me. I was entertained until the Mars part. After that, it just lost me. Like, it started really dragging on. I was like, no, I want to see the other cool aspects that we were talking about. I was like, oh, come on, let's explore why these guys are doing this. Their motives or something else. But instead, we get this long-ass movie for a payoff that was unsatisfying.
No
for me.
payoff.
Yeah,
was like, really?
which is why I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. I think some of the aspects were insanely cool. Moon pirates,
Yes.
fucking
Show me more of those.
the side quest and how ridiculous it is. It has no place in this film, but
Yes,
it
it
is
does.
kind of a different little cool film on its own. And then, the incredibly disappointing payoff, the boring, doughy-eyed looks everywhere.
That's a good-looking man, though. Come on.
I will admit that, especially for 55. Guys,
He's
looking
55?
good. He's 55.
Like,
Look
are you
good.
like you said Stallone is 80? Because I don't know if you're like exaggerating or
No,
not.
he's 55 years
Okay.
old,
All right.
legit.
All right.
And
He's not
Stallone is
80.
legit 80.
No way.
I'm just kidding.
No.
I think so. 79, something like that. 79.
Really?
Anyway, yeah.
Oh, man.
Anyways, so you did try. So 5 out of 10. I think it's a mixed bag. Whereas Rambo was a mixed bag in its own. It's like hurry up, get to the cool fighting, and you're depicting Mexicans as villains and characters of themselves. It feels like a excuse to have all these props and stuff like that. This film, I thought, was much in the same way, that it's mixed. Really good stuff, really boring stuff, and it's hard for me to make this recommendation to you. I love sci-fi, so if you love sci-fi as much as I do, then watch it, because it's one of those that we could discuss, we could talk about, and you can see what interpretation you have for it, but it will disappoint you.
Maybe you had to sleep on it. I don't know.
But if you're not a fan of sci-fi, you can skip this one. And if you're looking for action, watch Rambo, even though that's a mixed bag, over this one. But all right, so that's let's talk about how ridiculous some of the things are and the terrible payoff, and also some of the good aspects in the spoiler section. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show.
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Hey guys, welcome to the spoiler section for Ad Astra. Let's talk right away about the ridiculous side quest that they go
Loved
on.
it.
So, Joe, can you explain what happens here? They dock with
So
this
there's
ship.
There's space docking, which is why I liked
Space
it.
docking.
No, of course. There's an SOS, and the guys and Brad Pitt's like, "Hey, look, I have a mission. We have to do this." The guy's like, "No, we have to do this because it's SOS. It's our orders." So they go check it out, and nobody's answering. So they go in, and then like they lose communication. It's Brad Pitt and Tanner. They go in, they go separate tunnels, and he's trying to reach Tanner. Tanner's not answering. He goes back. He sees Tanner just like convulsing.
Shaking in the corner.
Like kind of turns him around. Fucking bamboo.
Bamboo.
Baboon.
Shit, baboon.
Space
Just
baboon.
comes out of nowhere.
A fucking
I'm like,
space
what
baboon.
the fuck were they doing with these? Why
They
are
said it
so
was an
aggressive?
animal research vessel. They said that.
A
Well, yeah.
CGI space baboon.
No, that was a real. That was a real
that
space
was
baboon.
the CGI space baboon that comes flying at him and attempts to kill him, but Brad Pitt is able to shoot him with a space pistol.
But it
There's
does
another
nothing.
one. I thought there was
Whoa.
two.
No,
I
because
thought there
it's not
was
a
two.
it's not a
There's two.
real pistol because otherwise you can't use real pistols.
No, there was two. He killed that first one.
Oh, and he knocked it all the way back and then it just comes back forward because it's not like an actual gun.
I thought
There was two. It doesn't come back forward. The second one goes and attacks him.
Well, either way, there was a
It
crazy
was
one.
filmed a little confusing. I will
was.
admit it could actually be either one. But I know the gun does work because he was having that gun in previous and firing it, and some of the other
Which is
soldiers
dumb.
were firing. So you're like, wait. Okay, so you think maybe you going in here, and as he's convulsing in the corner, I thought that maybe, oh, I get it. These signals, these power surges are maybe affecting the minds of people if you get
Yeah, it's
closer
like,
and
what is
closer.
going on?
Because it's like convulsing. But no, he comes out of the way, and it literally was a monkey gnawing on the dude. And that monkey literally fucking killed him. It ripped his face off and bit
and
his
his
hands
hands,
off
yeah.
and shit. I'm like, damn, it did that much damage over a few seconds.
I was like,
baboon.
what happened? And they're like, all
space
right, let's
baboon.
get out of here.
Norwegian space baboon.
It's like, let's
All
get
in a
outta
film
here.
about your daddy issues and pondering slow looks and
Well,
people walking slowly here and walking slowly back. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, the story I thought was going to go. So the story is Brad Pitt's father, Tommy Lee Jones, 30 years ago,
a hero.
goes to Neptune because he wants to find. That's the only place where they can explore the universe, and because there's no
Away from
there's-
interference.
Yeah, there's no interference. He disappears. Everyone assumes that he's dead.
Looking for alien life.
Yeah, so his Brad Pitt grows up thinking his father is dead. Now he's an astronaut himself. There's all these weird waves, like antimatter waves that are like causing electrical storms all over Earth, and it's destroying everything. And they don't know what it is. And then a general, secret meeting. So your dad may be alive. He may be responsible for this because it's coming from where your dad disappeared. And so for some reason they send him to Mars, which makes no sense.
Absolutely no sense.
Because there's like, we need you to read this message to your dad, but you can only do it from Mars. It's like, but why?
You could have recorded the message on Earth, then took the message from Earth to Moon to the Mars.
And
to
now
Neptune.
we're done with it.
And the movie's over. Thank
Movie's
you.
over.
The
Yeah,
movie's
that's
over.
it.
As fuck. Obviously, the military obviously wouldn't use the son in order to kill his father because he's meant, there's mixed feelings.
Well, we
and
get a response
conflict
to the
of
message,
interest.
right? So that he sends the message to his dad. His dad immediately responds, and we never find out what the response is.
That sucks. Too.
They just immediately go, you have to go over here. We're gonna go kill your dad.
Yeah.
And we never find out. Even when he meets him face to face, he's like,
We
"Hey,
have no idea
Hey,
what
what did you send
It's like,
him?"
what did my dad say? And then the military. This is when the military starts to get a little, strict with him. It's like, you're off the mission.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're too attached.
Go and your psychic valuations are coming back negative, and he's like, God damn it! And they're like, go to the comfort room. He's like, no, I don't. God damn it, fine. I'm stuck in the comfort room. And then it turns out that the lady of the Mars base just so happens to have parents that also went on that mission.
The Lima Project.
And the Lima Project, and apparently his dad was responsible. He's like, you don't know what happened to your father. They never told you. And she reveals to him everything, that his father was basic. And he was kind of wondering, was my father already crazy from the beginning, or did he go crazy out there? What did he find? And she reveals to him, he was already crazy. And some of these scientists wanted to turn back because guess what? There's no alien life in the
They
universe.
explored all the stuff.
Which is fucking bullshit.
Well, that they could see from there, right? I imagine they're just like, hey, from the observable universe from where we're at, there is nothing.
right, which
So-
is fucking bullshit because that's not our universe. That's this Ad Astra universe. I guarantee you there's some, even if they're little fucking amoebas and shit, they're out there. But anyways,
Isn't
so
it today
he
when they
loses,
stormed Area 51?
he goes
Yeah.
fucking
Today.
crazy. He goes fucking crazy, and this film ties directly into Area 51. There are no aliens at base Area 51 because this film says there's nothing out there, and we need to rely on each other. And there's human beings, and at the end of the film, a soldier reaches his hand out, and then he reaches, and he smiles, and I've reconnected with humanity. There's nothing out there, and I'm not going to be my father. I'm going to be a better version of my father, and daddy issues. Done.
But we find out that they think the entire time that the dad has been sending these rays kind of on purpose.
Yeah.
And then you find out that the dad's actually a good guy.
And he's been trying
to stop it the whole time.
Bullshit.
But it goes nowhere. There's no big reveal. He's just like, I've been trying to stop it. And Brad Pitt goes, okay. And then they move on.
Okay, let's blow it up with a nuclear weapon. No, let's find a way to shut it down. Or, let's move it around. But I guess he's like, okay, no, we're going to blow it up with a nuclear weapon.
And then he just fights him and is like, peace, I'm out. Don't take me home. I was like, what? Why?
So he has to convince his father through a scene where he reconnects with his father. And his father does have some trust in him. At first, he doesn't want to go back. But he finally accepts it.
Well, his dad's like, I never loved you or your mom. I've been up here alone for 30 years. I never once thought about you.
I thought it was implied, too, that he beat him or something.
Like, okay, Dad.
Oh yeah, because they kind of hinted at something like that.
He's like Roy, and he pulls little boy through.
And you hear a little kid screaming, and she's like, "Oh well, this is."
Like,
so his dad was a piece of shit, and he loves his dad. He said, "I love you anyway, Dad." And then he's like, "Let's go." So he gets him, and they're coming out of the ship because he had to abandon the docked ship. So they're basically going to try to use their jetpacks to get back to the retrieval craft. But suddenly is his dad. He gives his dad a fucking jetpack booster, which I would have never fucking done. I have the jetpack booster because this man's crazy. He doesn't want to come back to Earth. He just said, "Home? You want to go home? This is my home. My home is Jupiter."
And that's why I thought he was
will find alien life, and there's posters everywhere. Alien life. Yes, yes, yes.
Well, that's why I thought he was going to try to fight him more on trying to leave. He's like, all right, let's go. Okay. It's like, really? You just said, no, this is my home. Let's go. Okay.
I don't know if he says okay, but he just willingly gives up.
Yeah.
But just so that once they get outside, he can press his rocket boosters to fly to Neptune, and his son's like, "God damn it, Dad, stop!" and he loses grip, and then they make this big, nice scene, a long shot of a father and son fighting in space, 2.7 billion miles from Earth. A father and a son fighting,
and he even said Captain goes down with the ship, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't even stay in the ship and go down with it.
No. I wanted the father to be purposely blowing up Earth for some reason. I wanted something, a big revelation where it's just like, no, I had to do, or where they did find alien life, and he's like, I have to destroy your technology so the aliens don't find you. Something cool at the end. Cool. But it was just like, oh, no, it was just an accident.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're going to nuke me anyway? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
and he's one with the universe, and you don't understand. All those pills are making you take. All those people are aliens, and I'm killing them.
They
with
went
these
nowhere
waves.
with the pills either.
Something I know, right?
They show pills one time, and they're like, these are mood regulating pills because you're going to be in space for a long time, and this is to prevent you from going crazy.
To set up how crazy his dad is, that maybe his dad had these crazy tendencies where one-track mind, and now that he's been out there for so long, he's probably off his pills, and that gives yet another reinforcement to that plot line. But we didn't need that. We didn't need it.
If that was important, or it's just you can't hint at these things and then go nowhere with them because you're just wasting time there.
A lot.
It wasted time. It wasted a lot of time, and I felt because it was smelling its own farts, because it was really profound with all of its slow shots and its cinematic shots. And I was like, I've seen shots like this before, and I've actually seen them, set up better in other films. So I know you think you're really, really cool right now, but get to the fucking point. Yeah. And when they get to the point, it is a weak-ass point.
Yes.
And I don't understand the moon pirate scene.
Okay,
either.
let's talk about that.
It's
VIP, so cool.
VIP people. It's like, hey, there's pirates out there. Oh no, we need backup. I was like, well, you knew about this. Why weren't you better prepared?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you knew the pirates are in force that much, so basically he gets to the moon. The moon has a bunch of fucking Subway and Virgin Airlines, and it's basically commercialism.
It's a mall.
And it's a mall, yeah. And his father,
he says, him $125 for a
blanket and a pillow.
He says his father would tear all this down. And anyway, so they go from that part of the moon to the far side of the moon so he can go on a secret mission because he was just going on a commercial airlines to not alert anybody. So they have a little military base there, and they're like, we're gonna protect you. We've been having problems with pirates lately. And you're right. At that point, Joe, they should have known. Well,
they
every
said
once
he's
in a while,
VIP.
we get attacked. We get attacked by 5, 6 pirate vehicles. And I thought this was going to be a part of a faction working with his dad or something like that.
Cool, but
something fucking cool. But no, they're literally pirates, which makes no fucking sense because pirates operating a war on the moon would be so goddamn expensive. There's no way that they're not able to fund themselves anyway in that amount. So you've got 3 Land Rovers. For the U.S. military, and then you get this cool battle. They fire these fucking kinetic weapons in space, and you get the dirt kicked up, and people are flying, and they're all shit, and it was cool. But it's like, god damn, man, the pirates are that well equipped, and you, like you said, go out there with little pistols. Seriously,
this is the most important mission in the world, as far as the whole world, because the world is blowing up to these storms, and the U.S. military is like, this one guy's our only hope. Give him 2 rovers.
Give him 1 sergeant.
Yeah.
And 3 soldiers.
And
an old
one-
man.
And an old
One
guy
or
with
2
heart
guns.
problems. But I love Donald Sutherland.
Yeah,
He's so
but
great.
but boy, is Tommy Lee Jones and Donald Sutherland looking rough, man.
Space
I was
Cowboys
like,
is a rough
shit.
lifestyle to live,
Yeah,
man.
I do
was
not
that
know.
like Liv Tyler?
But,
She loves astronauts.
Oh, she loves
I
astronauts.
know. She keeps ending up.
That
in the
Aerosmith song kept repeating in my
Yes.
head.
So, that's a plot line goes, no, I knew your dad. I'm coming on this mission as a security blanket for you, and I'll
can't.
protect you. I can't do it. My heart. It's forget it.
Can you please tell me
And then
where
you
he
have the
is?
voiceover. He can't. He's hiding it to himself. He can't. He's not as military cool badass anymore as I am.
Yeah,
And
because
I-
after that one little trip, he's like, "Can you please tell me his status?" Oh, he's in surgery right now. I was like, Jesus Christ.
It didn't go anywhere.
Cool.
And then how come Donald Sutherland only has that lame thing? He doesn't show him the main message where his dad's like, yeah, I murdered everybody on the ship, innocent and guilty alike.
Exactly. That makes no sense. There's so many things you can poke holes in because then later on, how does he actually get to Neptune when they say, you're no longer fit for service, sir? That kind of makes sense. It's like, okay, at this point, we're going to fucking nuke your dad. and you're obviously not going to support nuking your dad. But apparently he did support nuking his dad. And he's like, yeah, I'll do whatever is necessary. I want to be on the mission. And that's when he meets the side character, this lady who is in charge of the Mars base. And it just so happens to be, it's so trite anyway. And so she helps him get on the rocket. And he goes out and she drops him off in the middle of nowhere like a fucking Uber. And then she goes under fucking Mars, and there's water under Mars somehow. Apparently,
lake, yeah.
it's a base thing or something. And then he gets up, and he's literally in a rocket, and the rocket is firing up. That shit would be on.
He's holding on to the outside. He's
Yes.
going, ah!
That's what I
He's
thought.
strong as fuck.
because there's no
He's
time for
climbing
him
ladders.
to
It's
get
like,
up.
oh, 10, 9. I was like, there's no way.
There's no way.
He's got to be holding on.
And then, so apparently he gets in, and while they're taking off, it goes, reet, oh, the airlock. Just fucking blow the airlock if you know that this crazy guy's in your ship. But no, they don't blow the airlock. They open it, and it's like, go deal with him. Mission control, what do we do? Go deal with him. And then
kill him.
One of the guy comes with a gun. He's like, I have no hostile intent. You need me to get to Neptune. And instead, they start firing the gun in the goddamn
That captain
ship.
killed all of them.
Yeah.
Well, no, the chick died when the retro rockets fired, and her face got
Well,
slammed
yeah.
into the back of
And
the
then,
ship.
yeah.
The other guy, yeah.
Okay, so the captain he's talking about is the real captain got killed by the monkeys, okay? The baboons. This guy was this shaky dude who had no right being there. He's like the most important mission you're
He's
going to put
super
a fucking guy.
scared.
They were going to trust him with the nuke where he's like too scared to even take
Well,
manual
that's because
control.
Brad Pitt didn't report it, remember?
I know, but he was too scared to take That's true.
See, and I thought
But
that was
anyway.
going to be like, okay,
yeah,
yes,
this
come
is-
aboard.
Come
you
aboard.
help
I
me out.
trust
But that
you.
guy-
You saved our lives. Well, but
But
he's
no,
like,
he
nope.
comes
Fuck
out
you,
to
he's-
try to shoot him too, and Brad tries to help him. I don't even know what happens. The air suddenly
Well, he
They
hit
shot
a
a canister
canister. Yeah,
of
the
some sort of
canister.
gas, and then everyone suffocated. But since he was in a
got you.
spacesuit,
It was that canister of gas,
Yep.
and man, that thing immediately kills people.
Yeah.
But he still had his suit on. He's like, take the gas, and then he's dead. I was like, wow, how
they
convenient
need
it
mustard
is.
gas in the spaceship for some reason.
How convenient it is that every single fucking person dies on that
But
ship, and it's
you're
only
fucking-
him to go
well,
meet his father.
Why are you shooting a gun, too, when you have a fucking nuke?
Right.
aboard.
Right. It was. That's what I'm
I
saying.
thought you were like, you're going to nuke him? It's like, oh, no, you're right.
That's what I'm saying is it makes no sense. Even if you think that this artsy film is the best film, it makes no sense. And then, so he's not a part of the mission to destroy his father with a nuke. He wouldn't know the nuke codes. He wouldn't know any of the protocols, the ship fucking codes, none of the fucking, but apparently he knows the nuke codes, the ship codes, the everything as if he was the mission fucking commander.
There's just an on button. Come on, Joe.
Well, apparently there's you just hit one button,
Finally,
nuke
just a little
armed,
switch, yeah.
blowed up now.
That's what he did.
3 hours.
He's like, give me 3 hours.
And then finally, one more thing, ridiculous thing. He gets his father. They fly to Neptune. His father's like, no, let me go, son. And he's like, all right, I'm going to detach. He's like, detach me, unhook me. And he unhooks his father. His father flies off into space. And then his plan, he's like, what is the point? I don't want to do this anymore. And then he gets his mojo back. He realizes he want to live. Why? Well, from what I saw, it was a blue light.
Mm-hmm.
But what the fuck is this blue light?
The blue light was a spaceship.
Oh, is it a spaceship? I thought it was like an alien or something.
No, he's looking at the spaceship and he's planning his trajectory.
Oh, see, my vision is not very good. So this blue light, I couldn't see that it was a fuselage.
I saw, but I thought it was like an alien coming. Like, oh,
that's what I thought. I was like, oh, this is gonna be fucking. Oh, it's not.
The truth.
It just went off, and then I was like, oh, and I saw blue, engines before. I was like, that must have been the ship. Fuck. But I wanted to confirm. Okay, so then he gets back to the ship. Then he uses this little spinny fan thing so that he can basically what Joe.
Boogie board. He's a space boogie board.
Silver Surfer back to his ship through an asteroid field with his fucking and not a jetpack, but literally just air from his normal pack, and he makes it back to his ship. Slams on the ship and then comes back in and then has a 72-day trip back to Earth. And he's like, I can't wait to end my isolation and reconnect with people again. Ta-da!
He gets back with Liv Tyler and lives happily ever after.
Yeah, she comes into a bar and you could feel that, and he's all like, "I'm woke now. I understand all the things, and I won't act bad anymore."
And people are world eaters.
Yes, he does say people are world eaters.
Okay, and then he's
there is no life, and so we're all we've got. So we've got to take care of each other.
No. Fuck that message. There is alien life out there, and I'm with his dad, and I'm going to continue searching. I'm going to fly to Neptune if I have to. And he's going to land on Neptune, and that little blue light, it was an alien that picked his dad up and it said, fuck this guy, we're out of here. That's what happens, all right? It was boring, and we just explained everything for you, but you should watch it just so that you can understand what not to do in your artsy-fartsy, boring, overly long daddy issues film.
Yeah.
Cool. I think I beat them down and brought them over to my side.
Nope.
Okay, I didn't. Well, see you guys on the next Angry Joe show.
Bye, guys, and be sure to subscribe and ding our dong.
Thank you so much, and see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.